Hello, my name is Aaron. I am the Novice Painter, and today I have part one of what ended up being a two-part video for you today. Two parts for a couple reasons. One, this is a very large canvas. It is the largest canvas by far I've ever painted on. Usually I paint on a 16 by 20 or 18 by 24, something like that. This is a 24 by 36, 2 feet by 3 feet, so it's a huge canvas, and I wanted to do something special. But, doing something special takes a lot of time, so I decided to break this up into two parts. As you can see, this is a black canvas, so it is one of those, the black canvases have some special things that can be done. This is an original idea I had. I'm doing it for a family member. They requested a painting and they gave me a lot of freedom with it. They just said something with fall colors, so I decided to kind of go nuts with it and do not your traditional fall scene and more a fall scene at night. This family member also happens to really like Disney films, but I didn't want to go overtly Disney with it. That didn't seem appropriate. I wanted to do a subtle nod to Disney films. So what I decided to do is kind of a magical-ish forest. It's not overtly magical, but it's done at night with fall colors, so it kind of has that magical look to it with the black canvas and everything. And it has a horse-drawn carriage, which is also something I've never tried to paint before, and it's still a work in progress. As I am recording this, I have not finished part two, and there's a very good reason for that. I have to wait for the canvas to dry. I had originally wanted to do something with contact paper where the horse-drawn carriage would, like I'd done in a couple of the paintings earlier this series, this year, where I cut out the horse-drawn, drew it on contact paper, cut it out, and I made several attempts, and the problem was the drawing was always so intricate, so many little shapes and things. I didn't think the contact paper, I couldn't get it to work right, and maybe if I had an X-Acto knife and a mat and oodles of time, I could have got it to work, but with the situation I was in, using a pair of scissors, it just wasn't working right. So I decided to paint it, and I was going to do it the old-fashioned way, where I paint part of the painting and then I let it dry, and we'll go back and finish it at a later date. So that is why this is broken up into two parts. Second part, this painting is going to take weeks to dry. Not weeks to dry, about a week. And it should be not completely dry, but dry enough for me to go for part two. So I would expect part two sometime next week if I do indeed have time for that. Going back and watching this video after recording it, I realized that with the canvas being black, my camera setup and lighting setup especially is really letting me down. As you can see, I'm actually painting trees here, and they're supposed to be dark, and I can see them just fine, but where the camera angle is, you can't really see them. There they are when I get into the sky, but they do show up against that black canvas, just not very well with the lighting that I have. So I'm gonna have to come up with something else for future paintings. I do, when I start to paint the horse-drawn carriage, which I don't get anywhere close to finish, but I do get it outlined today in this painting, or in this video rather. I do pull the camera a little closer to the canvas. It's just very awkward the way my setup is right now to get in close. I have to constantly keep in mind that the camera is there and move out of the way, which is something I'm not used to yet. So please bear with me with the video aspect and the lighting aspect of these paintings, as I'm very much learning much about recording painting as I am painting, as I go about and do these things. So there will be some learning curve, and I promise to show you the finished, or not quite finished, the halfway finished painting at the end, as I always do. But just keep in mind, when you see that at the end, it is very much not the finished painting. It could be. It doesn't look, awful, but I definitely want to put a whole lot more time into the detail work of the carriage and some more things in the landscape. And I think I'm going to eventually put something in the water as more of a foreground, because right now it's just a lot of empty space, which I thought it was pretty, that the empty space there, but it's not quite, not a lot of interest going on there, just having the reflection there. Well, while it might be pretty, I want something a little more interesting, especially since this is very likely going to hang in someone's home. At least I hope so. I hope they like it enough to display it, because that's what art is about. I am taking a lot more time with this since I have someone in mind. I do give some of my paintings away. I haven't really sold a painting in a very, very long time, but I do give them away, and they're meant to be displayed for anyone who wants them. So when I know they're going to be given away to someone, or when I have someone specific in mind, I try to take a little more time and do a lot more of the fiddly detail work that I always despise doing. It's just not as fun. This one was okay as far as fun. I like doing the black canvases, especially. Something magical about the way the color is brought out, especially in the sky, and then it makes it very easy to do the color gradient. You can see the color going from the light source to the darkened area of the canvas. You can't even see it on this camera, unfortunately, but the gradient worked out really well with the black canvas. Things just got darker as it went away from the light source, just naturally, which was very cool. One last note before I turn it over to the music. You will see in just a little bit when I start drawing the horse-drawn carriage, there's a bit of a weird cut that is not intentional. I had a bit of a mishap. I started painting the horse, and then I didn't like how it was turning out at first, so I actually scraped it off and started painting it again, and realized after I scraped it off and started it again, I had forgotten to hit the record button. So unfortunately, you don't get to see part of the painting of the horse, but I think you'll get enough of it to get the picture, get the idea, if it were. Okay, I believe that's enough out of me. Going to turn it over to the music. I hope you enjoy this, and I hope you enjoy part 2 when it comes in a couple weeks. Thank you so much for watching. Take care.